Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link. The power of we was a way of inclusion, a way of inviting anyone who needed or wanted a place to belong.
It was just very clear to me that this was something that would really benefit the young folks right here.
And to be able to give them a different perspective, that I know where they come from, I know what they're experiencing because I was there too, and letting them know that there's different actions that they can take that'll lead to a different destiny.
We really needed to hear that. In order to change our community, we needed to hear that.
And they are inspired to invest in making it happen. That's powerful.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Christopher Rausch, your No Excuses coach, here with a special announcement to say, hey, listen, guess who's going to be in Chicago, April 28th, 2022 at the Stan Mansion. Christopher Rausch, your No Excuses coach, is going to be there, and I'm excited because this is all about the teens. This is all about taking professional speakers with amazing stories and coming live and pouring into the teens and creating an amazing life-changing event that helps them walk away with a lot of tools to arm themselves to have a kick-ass, awesome life. So I'm excited to be there at the Stan Mansion. It is the Power of We Symposium. There it is on the screen, www.thepowerofwesymposium.com. Check it out. Myself, Lauren Michaels Harris is going to be there. Dom Possett's going to be there. Jason Cisneros is going to be there. So many other impactful speakers are going to be there sharing their hearts and their wisdom to make this world a better place through those kids. So check us out April 28th. Go to Chicago. Be there. Join me there. I'd love to buy you a drink and just have a great conversation. No excuses. We'll see you there. Power of We, April 28th. Cheers.
It's hump day, y'all. Yes, it is. Welcome to Wednesday. Do I still sound like Louise Jefferson? I think it's getting better. Do you hear it? Do it. Okay, I can still do it, but I have control of it. Thank you for freeing me, Louise Jefferson. Rest in peace, Isabel Sanford. I am Lauren Michaels Harris. I'm here today because we do it every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock. All of us who have chosen and who were chosen to change this world, one story at a time, we come together, fulfilling one of the greatest promises known to man, the one that guarantees that when we come together with the same mindset, heart set, soul sets, wonderful, wonderful things happen. And I love it because it's free. I love it because it's freeing. And I love it because don't you just love when you have the opportunity to introduce people you love to other people you love, right? Oh, it's a wonderful day in this neighborhood. So how are things shaping up in your neck of the woods? It's the middle of the week. We are 1 week out. Actually, Power Week is a week from tomorrow, but we'll be at the Stan Mansion on Wednesday night. All of the VIPs, and we'll be there getting the Stan Mansion ready for those 300 plus kids coming the next day, where we're going to change their lives, and they definitely are going to change ours. We are so excited this year. We have a lot of new things, a lot more kids than usual, because the world is in a different place than it was before COVID when we did the last Power of We. But we as a people, when we come together, well, we create a modern day stone soup experience. Remember that story from when we were kids? You bring whatever you have, it's good enough. Whatever it is, when you mean it, it becomes meaningful somewhere in the universe. Can I get an amen? Come on now. That's the bell of purpose. I didn't slip and fall and hit the bell. See, I can't even do it if I try. It's because the bell of purpose, when I strike it on purpose. And I do it to remind us that right now there is some truth in the air. Grab it while you can. Trust me, it is the only thing I know of in the universe that never changes and never changes on us. So I don't want you to miss it. I got a great guest today. I got my bro in the house, y'all. That's right. Y'all didn't know I had a brother? Yeah. My bro from another mo. I'm kidding. I don't know. She is. That's her last name. Isn't that cool? You think I'm the first person that ever did that? I hope so. I bet you nobody's ever made that joke or that ever. Quit playing. But I still am bragging about my Will Smith joke that I have. And everybody, you want to hear it again? For those who didn't hear it? Okay. If Will Smith is, wait a minute, I changed it. How does it go now? Go, okay, here it is, starting over. You forgot everything I just did. Guess what? I have a joke about Will Smith. Did it work? Anyway, so I heard that the Academy of Motion Pictures has put a new mandate on Will Smith that if he is ever to be nominated again for a movie role, it can only be in one category. Can you guess what the category is? Wait for it. Slapstick. Right? You know what I say? If you could have an illustrious comedian, a stand-up comedy career by only coming out with one good joke every 50 years, I could have had a different career. So anyway, here we are. Listen, Power of We means we. It is not the power of me. And today, Victoria, bro, let me tell you why this is so special. First of all, everything under the sun tried to get in the way. It wasn't smooth. It was almost like a Morse code experience. ... dash. And I was feeling bad about it. But then I thought, you know what? Conversations don't have to be practiced. The truth doesn't have to be remembered. And what I love about this is Victoria came to me through our friend Nicole, who was the real estate agent. Remember when Brian and I went to the Carolinas looking for that retirement home? And boy, we came that close. We were like, but this is supposed to be 5 years from now. We were just getting our feet wet, remember? But Nicole's so good. We had to hold on to each other. Fight it. So anyway, but we have a wonderful friend who just introduced us to another wonderful friend in Victoria. She's telling her story. Just, you guys, it's a great conversation. It's going to be a great, great day in the neighborhood. Put your hearts on the screen because she's never been here. And, we roll out the red carpet of love. And put your hearts, more importantly, to the conversation. Let's see where it goes, because here she comes. Victoria, A, what's the A stand for? Put in the comments. Victoria, Ann, I got it. I'm seeing if I was watching her backstage. I think it's Victoria and Bro. We'll see. Here she goes. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good morning.
Bro in the house. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you. You?
Awesome. I'm so excited you're here, and you're a trooper, because most people would say this ain't gonna work. Look at how this is going. But you're here, and we're glad you're here. Let's get to it. So, Victoria, you okay, the A. What's
Yeah,
this?
right.
Yay! Because I love the flow of it. You see, some things just land in the pocket. And
Right.
don't you? I always try to challenge that. See, that's how you find out gifts you have. See, no, really, it was a process. I'm so glad. Tell everybody where you are right now in the world. I love that background. Is that your house?
Yeah, so that's Charleston, the map of Charleston. So
Oh my God, those colors.
Yeah, you like that?
Yes, I love it. Where are you?
So I'm in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, Charleston County.
Charleston County. And you're in the real estate industry.
I am. Yep, been in it for 23 years, broker and an owner of a small brokerage in Mount Pleasant.
Okay. And see, we were just talking, you guys, backstage before we came out here. We were like, what are we supposed to be talking about? I don't know. You were on a call when we had our call. And this, but then I remembered what Nicole said when she sent you our way. And you know how this is a true testament of the impact we have on others just from being ourselves. And what a great compliment it is that how do you feel about that? Her pushing you across the table and saying, hey, take a look at this entree.
Yeah, well, Nicole is amazing. She's a
He is.
great friend, and our team is very much a bunch of cheerleaders for each other, so I'm not surprised. I lift her, she lifts me, and that's what works. It's great.
That's awesome. So I asked you backstage because what I love about this is the topic. We're tying it in with some stuff about kids today because we were all kids. And Lucy, you're driving me crazy. They're putting in the new bathtub. It's the last piece for our remodel upstairs.
Okay.
And they're painting. Another crew is in another room. I get blurry all of a sudden. Painting. And so Lucy and Ethel are down here. At least I think Ethel is still there. Lucy doesn't. Lucy, quit crying. You want to come sit and be on the show? She shut up then, see? So, come, please come. So anyway, during a video, I'm going to let her run around. They're not running in and out, which should be okay. Can you hear her?
Again.
Oh my God. Am I blurry? Let me look. I kind of am. Hold on. Let me do this real quick. I don't know. I'll fix it. Anyway, it's about you anyway today. So listen, when I asked you about, how you got started, are you comfortable talking about, because what I love is here it is, you guys. Nicole is here because she's sharing about how her work, which isn't work at all, it's a calling, is based around a family that she has created, and they have created it as well, co-created it, I should say. At least I think that's the way it is. And I think that's important, especially with so many solopreneurs and entrepreneurs and people doing their own thing nowadays, how important this culture mindset is. And when you talk us, because you're going to take us back to some of your younger years, and we can connect the dots on why that family spirit found its way into your journey. And so go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. I'm gonna let you have the screen.
Yeah, growing up, I didn't really, I would call my family a little dysfunctional. We were all connected by love, but it was just very dysfunctional growing up. So, for me, it was really important to me that when I didn't really know where I was headed, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I kind of decided that I was going to do real estate and dabble in it, and it just stuck. And this is going on 23 years now that I'm still rocking and rolling, doing better every year. With my family, I lost all my family. My mother, my father, both in my 20s was my mom at 23. My dad was in my 30s. And I really felt very, very alone, minus the family that I built, my husband, my two boys. So when I decided to build Tabby, it was multi-purpose. It was to build my own family, and the one that I chose this time.
See?
You
How
know,
did you know you could do that?
It really came from me spending years of mentoring other agents that weren't mine because at the time I wasn't a broker. And that what I realized is that there's a real pull in our industry in particular, but in life and world, is that there's not a lot of people who are people's cheerleaders. And it's really sad to me, like, all these other large brokerages are offering all these tools and software and free CRMs and marketing and all this other stuff. But the reality is that most people really just want to be appreciated, acknowledged, have a cheerleader, and have someone who's there 24/7 to pick up their phone and just love on them. And so when I went into it originally, I didn't realize there was much of a need for us, but being a broken child myself, it was the one thing I needed the most was just more hugs and love and someone to believe in me. And so Tabby was built purposefully to be a small brokerage because it's important to me that it's not about monetary. I'm not in a position of I can't wait to make money on my friends and agents. It's more like I want to grow with them. And the only way we do that is we all grow together. No one's down.
You know what I love? There it is. Two pieces, the two tiles that I believe were on that floor that you boogaloo on right now, and all those people around you dancing to your own drum, is based on, number one, you from the beginning had a mission of being of service. Wasn't about just me, Marsha. And you also implemented a place where people could be free and feel comfortable just being who they are. And that's really important because, so many things groom us from when we're small that we're not good enough, that we don't fit, we don't belong. And, I'm going to tie it into the power we. I warned you, so here we go. So, but it's true because I believe we really, an illuminated conversation is based on the things that we are most connected to each other through, not pointing out the things that are different. You see what I'm saying? Because there's more of the other if we look for it, if we seek it, right? Give me an amen, y'all. Put it in the comments. So I'm going to show a little clip, and I want to come back from the clip and ask you a question about what you've just seen. Is that okay? I just want to say to you guys, last night we had an off meeting. You know that this thing with the 9 universities in Louisiana partnering with us just came about a couple weeks ago. And so I was on a call last night with those people and a lot of the parents and educators here in Chicago who are bringing these kids. And it got down to the seriousness of why we're there outside of the catering and all the things that it's like Christmas Eve a week from today when we meet to get it ready for those kids. But, you got to sit down and have those conversations about, so what's really going on with these kids? You guys tell us what you're seeing. And I found stuff online, of course, on YouTube that speak to that same thing, like what you were just saying, especially like, I'm just going to say, Victoria, kudos to you. I know personally how hard it is when you have no parents, and I was in the foster system. You weren't, which sometimes I think is even harder. Could be even harder when you've lost your parents and stuff, because that feeling just like I do, where after those things happen, people meant well, but we still always felt like a visitor, you really, you were just, they were being nice or whatever we tell ourselves. Right. And so that's an important piece, you guys, because I'm looking at the screen and I just can sense how much joy you have. And it feels like it's just a cord down the middle. It's like you have so many different places that a lot of people miss that it comes in through. And that's why you can have it in such an abundant way. So let's take a look at, this is really interesting about U.S. inner city children. And then we're going to move through some things today. So let's take a look real quick. I'm not techie, y'all. So you'd think I would be after 5 years, right? Here it talks about U.S. inner city children suffering from quote unquote war zone trauma. Let's take a look.
We're in bed, and then they started shooting, and then my mom came in and told us to get on the floor.
Drug use, gang activity, shootings, drive-bys. There are things that are dealing with in which average kids may not have to deal with.
Every day I hear gunshots, like, during the night, during the day, it really doesn't matter.
There was shooting, 2 guys dead, 2 more hurt.
2 teenagers were shot outside a busy fast food restaurant.
One of the most extensive studies on post-traumatic stress disorder in the community was done here in Atlanta, and it found the staggering statistic that of those who lived in low-income areas in the city, 46% suffered from PTSD. That is a rate much higher even than soldiers who've seen war.
I don't know about y'all, but did you get chills when he said that? I did. And Victoria, what goes through your mind when, because there's no way we can separate what we've seen or heard. You can't unhear it. You can't unsee it. So when you hear just those little statistics and you think back to some of the roughest times when you were a kid, does it feel much different?
Yeah, no, it's how the first 14, 12 years of our life can impact the rest of our life. It's pretty amazing.
It really is. Let me ask you something. So what did you do? Where did you go when you felt like you didn't have the parental segment inside? You know that aloneness?
Yeah.
You know how all of a sudden, don't you? Let me ask you this. Do you remember this? I know you do. I do. Twice. Do you remember how when they leave moms, how you wake up and you think everything's right? And you go, wait a minute, something's different. What? Oh, it's like that void. You know how I'm going to pick up the phone and all the little nuances, the essence, the little things. Where did you go? Where did purpose, where did divine intervention lead you to keep you from just wanting to just cover up and stay down?
Yeah, I mean, it was really hard. I mean, I was blessed first off to have great mother-in-law and father-in-law, so that has helped me a ton. I've been with my husband since I was 23, and so
okay.
I already had they weren't my in-laws at the time, but they were in my life in just beginning stages. So I was lucky that I kind of had a little bit of the monkey bar effect. That was, as my mom slid out, I was able to have another mother figure, father figure in my life. So that's helpful, and obviously being with my husband so long, it's really important and helps me, obviously, is when he knew my mother, he knew my father. So reminiscing about them, and I'm sure you do the same, being able to have stories and talking to my kids about them. Like, if you talk to my children, you would think they knew my mother, but they weren't even around at the time. But we just try really hard to talk about stories and their favorite recipes and all of that to keep her alive.
Yes.
So that's super healing for me.
Yeah. So take us back. First of all, tell us what the name means. Because it's purposeful. I know it is. What's the meaning behind Tabby?
So Tabby is actually a look. Tabby's actually a look in Charleston and Georgia and Florida that I absolutely love. So Tabby is a concrete that is oyster shells with limestone and concrete, and they use it on homes. They use it in the driveways. It's a really popular look around here. And so I was just trying to think of things in the South that I absolutely love when I was trying to come up with a name. And obviously Holy City was already out, it was, overplayed.
Yes.
I like Tabby is one of my favorite looks for a home. And so that's why we call it the Tabby Realty.
Awesome. So it was just you, I'm assuming, at first.
Yes. So I actually opened Tabby prepared to be completely alone. I just didn't want to have a broker anymore. I wanted to do my own thing. And I got to be honest, when I opened Tabby, I never would have thought that I'd have a team of 17 because I wasn't recruiting. I don't recruit. I really just try to do good things and put out good feels to people and be everybody's cheerleader, with the hopes that eventually I would be surrounded with my own cheerleaders. And it's worked out. I have a fabulous team. Everybody gets along. Everybody hangs out outside of our meetings. It's not all just professional. We are all each other's best friends. There's no judgment on our team, and we all take care of me. If someone has a surgery, we're there. We're bringing them fruit. We're laying in their bed. We're taking care of each other. It's literally, I hear so many brokerages use the word family loosely. We are truly a family. All of our meetings are at my house. We get together all of the time. I'm just super blessed that I was able to, just by just trying to stay true to who I was. It's always, sometimes you get into this mode where everybody tries to, when anybody who gave me advice when I was opening my brokerage, everybody was like, no, that's not going to make you money. And I was like, for me, honestly, thank God I make enough money for myself. That's not what I need in my life. I need family. So that was most important.
And you hear what she said. It wasn't what she wanted. It was what she needed. And I'm going to tell you about that. Need comes with a plan. You hear me say that? And want is okay in certain situations. But when we are filling our cup or attempting to fill our cup, because you got to understand, the saying is, my cup runneth over, not my cup runneth dry, okay, or runneth out. And sometimes life takes things from us and we didn't have anything to do with it, but we have something that we can do with it. And that's what it sounds like you were doing. So when did you become actively conscious, Victoria, of what you were creating? For instance, when I went back to when it was just you, what my next question I wanted to be, so we'll go there. Do you tell us about when you had your first broker and they have a family or however it was? I have a feeling you felt the responsibility to much more than just the person you hired. Talk about that.
So, yeah, I mean, with all respect to any brokers that I had, they didn't know what I had as a void in my life. I didn't share that. So for me, I really felt like in every brokerage in the last 20 years, that I didn't matter. Just didn't matter. Like whether or not I had a huge sale or I had $20 million in sales, I was just a person who cut them a check every month, or I gave them money off of my commission. But I never felt like I mattered to them. Like it wouldn't, if I decided to give my resignation, it'd be like, and that's not the way it is. Like if any of my agents left me, I promise you, I will be in the corner crying because I love them.
So was it like this when you left? If you would have given your resignation, I'm sorry, I have to leave. It's been a great 5 years. Oh, and we'll miss you. Help me out. I know it starts with a V, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's funny, but so true. Go ahead.
Me knowing that for being in the business so long, I know what some of my agents don't know, because a lot of them are on the newer side, within the first 3 years, so they don't really know any different than me. But I know that, it's really hard to have a broker truly care about you. And thankfully, I'm lucky that I have a lot of broker friends that have small businesses that are like-minded. And so I am surrounded around the right people that I know I'm not the only person that does this. But it's not, it's a rarity. It's definitely not the majority. Most people don't get into business to have all of this liability that I have, to do it for not profit, so there's not a lot of people who are willing to do that. But I think when you love on people and you care about them, it's not just about that. Like I said, they do just as much for me as I do for them, but just not maybe monetarily. It's really got to do with, for me, is filling that void that I don't have. Of course, my family does some of that, but as is that you need more people, because filling the shoes of a mom or dad is enormous.
Yes.
It takes a village.
Oh, Jeanette Ramos, if you're watching, It Takes a Village. It's one of my coaching clients, and she has a nonprofit that's called It Takes a Village. So there's some confirmation for you, girl. Hey, when we come back from this brief commercial break, I wanted to, we're going to take a look at another little clip, but I want you to start thinking about this one, Victoria. How do you go about keeping the balloon filled with just enough air? And what I mean is, as you grow, because when you have something like this, there are people who I want to be a part. Oh, let me in. But something either doesn't feel right, or something's a little off, or you can tell it's not a good fit, but that they're seeking. I can tell you were shaking your head, so you dealt with it. I didn't know if you had, but I got the download. So take that one. We'll be back in just a minute with more of this wonderful illuminated conversation with our new friend, Victoria, my bro. Oh, no, wait. Victoria and bro. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something, you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you.
Okay, speed endorsement in 3, 2, 1. Hey, you know what? I love V8, 60 calories, 100% vegetable juice, all here in one can. Find it in the juice aisle, pop the top, say, I'm glad I had my V8. Now it's legal. I just drank some. We're back. Okay, we're going to bring Victoria. I hope I'll get in trouble for that. Let us pray. Okay, Victoria, welcome back, and welcome back to all of you, wherever you're watching from. You found your way inside a purposeful moment known as a bathrobe moment. I'm Lauren Michaels Harris, and this is my great guest, Victoria and bro. And we were talking about all kinds of things. I want to show another clip. I gave you something to think about before we went to break. And this one is about the mental health aspect, and we all deal with it. And so we'll talk about the mental health aspect after you fill us in on what I planted before we went to break. So hold on. Let me get this in here. Okay. And this is specifically about the area of the kids we serve here in the inner city of Chicago. So I just wanted you guys to understand, because we want you to get your pay-per-view tickets. I added another 16 kids last night, because a guy on one of the educators on there said, I have 16 boys that are right there. If we can just give them a little encouragement, a little inspiration. And, I'm already stretched thin. You guys pray for more donations to come in. I'm just going to remind you all again. It's like, it just is, I had to give the food check back to a sponsor 2 weeks ago. And it was like a $9,000 check, because they did something outside of integrity. And I ain't biting my tongue. If you don't want people to know, I ain't using your name. If you don't want people to know something, don't do it. Simple as that. So not all money's good money. So I gave it back. So we had to scramble. Well, I'm just keeping it real. Transparency is the key. And so just know that we need your help. Get a pay-per-view ticket, get anything. We're splitting that money, the pay-per-view proceeds, with the Chicago Soul Children's Choir, because they're trying to raise $1 million to help orphans in Ukraine. If kids are doing that, I'm just going to do it, because shit, we ought to be able to help the kids at least. So anyway, let's take a look. Here's a little peek into what they're dealing with. And these are kids helping kids. Take a look.
We live in a very unique city. We have our challenges here in Chicago with gun violence, poverty, and so many other things. These young men have seen friends get shot, family members get shot, domestic abuse, they've been abused.
Trauma is real. Then we absolutely need to think differently about the way that we create spaces for our young people, and young men in particular, to heal, to be well. We hear it from our school leaders all the time. I don't know what y'all are doing in those circles in that room, but it is transforming my school building. Michael, is that you? How was the West Chicago meeting? I'm AJ Watson. I serve as the National Director for Youth Guidance's Becoming a Man program. BAM is a male-to-male counseling and mentoring program that works in schools full-time, meaning once a week during the school day. Working in schools is so critical for us. We get access to youth in real time. We want our young people to feel like they can come here, be themselves, be vulnerable and authentic.
Okay, vulnerable and authentic. There we have it. Before we went to break, I dropped a little seedling here. Did anything sprout?
Yeah. So you, my first thought is that you were asking me about, not everybody being part of Tabby. And that is actually, it's made me smile because that is probably the hardest part for me, is that I didn't realize that I was going to create. And when I say I mean, I started it, but now my team is extension of me. And
it's
so
the power of we.
And so we've created this ripple effect, right? Where I get calls all the time that want to be part of Tabby. But it's really important to me. I'm a person who's a yes person. I don't like no. I do feel that sometimes the things we say no to is just as important as the things we say yes to.
Ooh, good one.
But it's one of those things where I have the sweetest people sometimes that want to be part of our team, but I don't know how to explain. I'm sure you get it, is that I just have to go with my gut. If it feels like I'm trying to fit, a square peg into a circle, then it just has to be a no to me. For me, it's really important that I protect the team because they trusted me. They came to me with open arms, and I have to be careful to protect them, that I don't add the worm to the apple cart. As you know, the dynamics can change on my team with just the one wrong person on the team. So I'm very, very protective of that. For the most part, I just go into it with my gut. If it doesn't feel right, I just say no. Every person on my team was somehow a rooted person in my life. So they've come to me through a relationship. So I don't ever, if I say no to somebody who wants to be on our team, then typically I'll say to them that it's one of those things where they have to show me the effort that they actually genuinely want to be part of our team, like as in showing up, maybe come to some meetings that we have, and allow them to have a space where they start to feel closer to us before we just allow them into our brokerage, because it's to see that the dynamics between everybody,
Yeah. So what do you attribute? Tell us about this piece. Like, things, especially having gone through COVID, I can only imagine that was one time where you really felt like, for some reason, when I was formulating the question about how you guys came together for each other, and I have a feeling it helped the collective move through the fears and treacherous waters of the unknown, i.e. the pandemic. So the visual I got was when you see a group of people that do those jumps out of planes and then they form that circle and they are floating. That's what it showed me. So now that I've told you that, tell me why you think I saw it represented like that when you guys came together during COVID.
Yeah. So, I built Tabby during COVID. So what ended up happening is I'm married to a doctor, and he had to be forced by the government to be closed for 6 weeks. And that was just my light bulb moment that it's now or never. Like, just open up. It was like open my own brokerage, create my own something that was something that I never expected is financially. I never expected that we would have a doctor in the middle of a pandemic have to close for 6 weeks. So that was when I decided to open Tabby, and it just grew.
Let me tell you what I'm laughing about.
Yeah, want to hear.
I heard somebody out there, because I know if it popped in my head, it popped in yours. So quit playing, girl. Somebody out there, when you said, yeah, and I'm married to, because that's how we forget that your backstory was not, you weren't laying on a floaty on the Mediterranean tanning all day. So in other words, when you said, oh, and I'm married to a doctor, I could just see somebody went like this. Of course you are. You know what I mean? Right. Because I'm like, okay, she's beautiful. She's happy. She's successful. And married to a doctor. What the hell? So anyway, wait, I'm married to one too. So there you go. Okay. But you know what? I'm just kidding. We got to laugh, right, y'all? So, but you know what? So you mentioned at the beginning of the interview, you said broken child. I wrote it down. So talk about this. You have children, and you know how those of us, all of us misfits, broken. But we glued the pieces back. But some days you wake up and you rub and you go on the vase and you go, wait a minute, is that a little piece that I didn't find? That one little sliver, that leaves where you can see the white, say it's blue, but you get it all together and nobody can tell if I turn it like this. Then there's that one little piece where you can see white, because you can't, and you're looking, that kind of thing. What do you do and how do you tell? Do you tell? I'm assuming, I don't know. You know how you said you keep your mom's everything alive, the recipes on. What about the hard stuff that was around that journey for you when you lost your mom? Do they ever ask you, how do you introduce the healing part? Because a lot of people avoid the conversations.
Yeah.
Don't bring that up. It'll make her sad, or
No, I'm pretty real with my children. I've never treated my children like true babies. I've always tried to talk to them like they're an adult. So they know that I'm hurting and that I have that void. We'll talk about it. Like sometimes if they say something to me or we don't say, for instance, I make sure I go up and say goodnight every single night and give them hugs and give them kisses. And when I leave for only 20 minutes, I do it because both my parents passed without knowing it. I never had a chance to say a goodbye, so.
So it wasn't one of those sit at the bedside and get that in. Oh, wow. That's it. I know that on one case, but
Yeah.
Wow.
My mom actually passed away when we were in the middle of an argument, she went to work. We were in an argument that morning. She went to work and then I never saw her again. So I had that regret. So for me, I really try hard to have a life of no regret. And I try to instill that in my children is that we just don't know, we don't know every day, I don't take anything for granted. So we're blessed now. We have a beautiful home, but I grew up in a little junky 2-bedroom house with 3 children.
Right.
So actually we're headed back to my home state this weekend and they're going to see how lucky they are.
I heard that. Oh, yeah. The whole thing. When I was a kid, we had to walk 5 miles to the schoolhouse. That kind of story. I feel you. Let me ask you though, about that argument, because it's never about one thing, y'all. It's never about one thing. And let's talk about how you carry that, how you process that, what you hold, the space you hold today from that, because it can't just be about the regret. Tell us a little bit about what you learned that has been helpful, that you knew once it locked in place, it'll never change. You know what I'm saying? I think you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it takes maturing, right? I mean, so when my mom died, I was 23. I knew everything, right? I didn't need a mom. I practically birthed myself, So, it's one of those things where now at 44, I see things that I go, okay.
They just did it again. When you said 40, oh shit. I hate her more. Right. Anyway, it's just good. You look great.
Thank you.
But what was that like, Victoria? Seriously, I can't imagine. I mean, I went for regrets. Oh, I wish I would have done this. Too bad I was out there as a drug head all those years when I didn't even have my mom for 32 years. And then I, squandered even more time after I found her. I get that. But how did you, that must have appeared like a mountain. How did you get over the mountain? You had to climb up first to get to the other side of it. I think that's one of your gifts. You have like this light. I'm gonna tell you, because I see it. You have like this, how if a plant needs to bring it up, you put that pole or something there and tie it to it. So it's like you have this light thing that did that to you. That, you know what I'm saying? Do you recognize it? Or is it just you're so used to it that you just, okay, just being me?
Yeah, it feels a little like I fake it till I make it. I think you do a lot of that until all of a sudden you realize, like, I actually am making it,
Exactly.
So, I mean, I was blessed that the fact that my dad was my best friend. Like I said, he passed away in my 30s, and I had about 10 hours. It went from thinking he just had bronchitis to being like, he's not going to make it. But my dad was my rock. He was my best friend. Yes, we had some problems and things that we could have done better, both of us. But he really helped me through a lot of that void. And like I said, I mean, me meeting my husband, he was already, we were already sort of starting a relationship when my mom passed. So that helped the glue, of my husband and I getting together, because seeing how he handled that passing, of course, right? We all know who your best friends and your closest people are is when tragedy happens and you see
Yes, girl. Yes, you can say that again and again and again. I triple that emotion. So you know what? Let's talk about. Oh, I know what I want to ask you. So I can tell you're a master manifester, but you manifest abundance. You manifest abundance. You never manifested money. Money was never the lead thing for you. It was joy, happiness, more of those things that you must not have been the victim. I get a feeling you didn't play the victim. And if you did, it wasn't for very long. So now what? Now what? Tell me now, because I have a feeling too that you're growing into sharing more of these, because you do have gifts. You really do. And you have this thing about you, Victoria. I get it now. I didn't even know, of course, at the front of it, but that's the wonderful thing about purpose and illuminated conversations. Purpose will always leave an imprint that reeks of more. You keep wanting to know more. You know how the questions they just keep, because I get closer to closer. I get closer and closer, and I see and I feel. You guys know because you've been experiencing it here today. So, Victoria, where do you see yourself and Tabby and all of it, let's say 20 years from now? 20 years, at 64 years old, your kids are now, you've empty nested. The families that you're with now, many of those kids, you've watched them grow up, they're starting to get married, and you're standing back on that same mountain that you had to climb every time that big loss came in. But now you're looking a little further to the horizon than when you were just trying to get over, and you see all the fruit before you. Tell us what that feels like when you picture that in your mind and in your heart.
Well, for me, I think as far as my kids are concerned, I wanted to show them that you can be successful without crapping on people. You can achieve big things. And it's not like we talked about in our first conversation, is that I'm a believer that in all things in life, that they don't have to have a winner and a loser. Like, everybody can win if everybody cares enough to bring everybody to the top. Same thing with negotiations. When we're doing real estate negotiations, I'm not the person who's going to be the aggressor that makes a seller feel like they lost their shirt. I don't think that that's a good vibe. I don't think that's a good feeling. As far as my agents are concerned, I didn't have a mentor when I started real estate. Everybody wanted to see me fail. So, there was nobody that was trying to teach me their tips and tricks, where that is exactly what I want to do for my team. Is I want to take my 23 years in real estate and rapid fire their career and raise them to the top. So I foresee that at 64, that I would hope that all of the agents that stick with me, that I'm the one sitting and taking pictures of them walking across the stage, taking all their awards, and that will be the biggest payment I can get.
I hear you.
I hope.
How old was your mom when she passed?
She was 59.
59. Watch how you feel. I experienced it already with my first mom. When I reached the age she was when she passed, it's quite an experience. It's quite an experience. It's like if you had a manicure, believe it or not, after that experience, it's like you got a top coat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got the appliques or whatever it is y'all have. Let me see your nails. I bet they're cute.
Mine? No, they're not.
Don't you love it? That's like asking a woman her age.
No, I'm like, you can ask Nicole. I'm more of the tomboy of our crowd.
You know what I love about you? You're just, what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And it's enough. And it's enough. More of us need to feel that way. I wanted to, before we go, because I want to get your opinion on it. I want to hear how you feel about the view from a distance. And what I'm talking about is the power we and these kind of kids and that sort of thing. And get ready. And the reason I'm showing this, I had it pulled up, but I didn't know. It's the Power We story, you guys. And this is the video with the real kids from the very first Power We. They were the first 6 kids that I started working with. And we did this video to promote the idea of the Power of We Symposium. And it was this video that moved the decision makers, if you will, of the United Nations to give us the award in 2019. I speak of the GEM Award, Global Empowerment Movement Award, because they felt the Power of We had the potential to become a movement. And so it's important to me to get everyone's opinion on it, and to give people the opportunity, all of you, if after watching this, you feel led, you feel moved to do anything, send a prayer, write a check. We just added a bunch more kids because if you think, oh, well, I can't, and then you find out something happened to one of them, which, happened with the first Power of We, when some adults in the city dropped the ball and those 19 kids didn't get to come. And then 2 of them lost their lives later that day because they were standing outside the wrong mall at the wrong time. So I'm going to share that with you. And that's how we'll round out after that. But this is the story of how the Power of We. I wanted to remind you guys about why we do what we do. Because last night when I had all those people on the screen, I realized I don't do that enough. And so we're going to start remedying that right now. So here it is. We'll be right back.
Statistics say they shouldn't be here. Statistics say they should be on the streets, in jail, or worse. Statistics say their dreams will never see the light of day. A lot of people never see this side of things, where I've been and where these kids are. A lot of people never see how we try to make something from nothing. They never see how hard we have to work to keep our dreams from being stolen by one tough decision. A lot of people don't realize that the margin for error for a young life lost to darkness and a life of success comes down to just one opportunity. But we have the power to change that. Not only do we have the power, we have the responsibility to keep sharing our light on the path for those who want to find their way out of darkness. We have the power of adversity, overcoming every obstacle to make our dreams a reality. We have the power of choice, knowing that every day we can choose to succumb or to keep moving forward. We have the power of control, knowing our destiny is within our hands. And we have the power of confidence, because each and every one of us has greatness within. We have the power of leadership, forging a path not only for ourselves, but for others just like us. We have the power of passion, pouring every ounce of our being, every breath of our souls into our biggest dreams. We have the power of harmony, knowing that we achieve more as we create an infallible social compatibility. We have the power of love, where our purity, decency, and truth will heal the world. We have the power of tranquility, in that we can exchange the chaos, turbulence, and the noise for the cool composure and serenity of the dream achieved. We have the power of community, where there is strength in numbers and a responsibility to each other, because together we can do more. We have the power of action because knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. What you do should mean something. What you do should make a difference. What you do should provide an opportunity to increase the power of we. So please, use your power to change the world by registering to sponsor our deserving youth leaders of today and beyond. For together, we can, we will do great things.
I know why I had to show that now. It's for you. Oh, I get it now. It came full circle. I'm so honored to be able to give this message to you, Victoria. Seriously. When I was watching that, every single thing that came out of my mouth, and I'm telling you, that voiceover was divinely inspired, word for word. You were checking every single one of those boxes. And I really believe that you were here today so that you could hear it from someone else. Whatever you believe is greater than you. I guarantee you, with what you have done and what you are doing, it is changing and it is going to continue changing so many lives for a long, 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 long time, that you deserve to know that you really are, you have built something that will, it's just a great legacy piece. You've done really well with very little, is what I hear. And I get it. And it's such an honor. And I feel really humbled. I really do. I feel really humbled to be the one that was chosen to tell you this today, because it's been a long time coming. But yeah, you should be very proud of your work and the people that you work with, that you really do you are the epitome of the power of we. What it means, all of those things. We have the power to this, we have the power to that. We have the responsibility, a dream achieved, being of service to others to help them find their way to what, all of those things. And I know because I do it, and I know a lot of you out there do as well. And you're not a self-proclaimed or professed influencer, if you will. So we're here to tell you from this place into your space that what a great beacon you are. And you have changed a lot of lives. Great job. Great job. Seriously.
Thank
I'm so impressed. I really am. I want to stay in touch with you. And if you know anybody, because see, y'all, you know me, I'm not going to bite my tongue. I have the 4 agreements. Do your best. It's the 4th one. So I'm just going to put it out there, Victoria. If you talk to our girl, Nicole, if y'all know people that are like-minded with you, that want to help some of these Power We kids, we would certainly love it. Whatever we can do to put your information on the pay-per-view stuff. If you have video or anything, your logos or informational stuff that goes out to our pay-per-view audience, we would put you right up front. Seriously, all I'll say is this. I want as much of your DNA on the power of we as possible. And that's that. I mean that. I really do. And I thank you for coming into my space when my mind is all over the place, because it showed me. I got something out of this.
Nothing but amazing things to say about you. And I can honestly say they're all true. So thank you for.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to just say this. Get ready. There's a book coming through you. You've already been thinking about it. Yeah. And it's time. 2022, put the title down. Just put the title down and you'll have that book finished by this time next year. And you'll be glad you did. Trust me. Seriously. You have a template. That's what you have. So put it out there and watch what happens from them to you. You guys, what an honor. Get out there today. Just be yourself. Be your best self. Show up for you so that you can show up for others. Get out there and remember what I tell you every day. I ask you today to pray for us. If you're a prayer believing person, or just send us great thoughts. That we'll be able to cover the expenses to get every one of these kids inside the Stan Mansion April 28th. If I thought I could do it myself, I'd call it the Power Me. But that wouldn't have worked out very well, trust me. So listen, get out there today. 2 things you need to do to be your best self. Promise yourself right now you're going to give the world today something they've never seen. And now look in the mirror and promise that same self that today you're going to do something you've never done. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow morning on the front porch for another episode of Bathrobe Moments. Thank you, guys. Help us get to our goal. Thank you. Thank you, Victoria, so much. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it?